So today I have the pleasure of talking to Mark. Mark, please introduce yourself and your business to the community.
Yeah, hi. My name's Mark Bradshaw. I'm from Promote News. We're a service that promotes businesses through content rather than advertising. So we do that through social media. We've got over 500,000 followers on all the top platforms, and we also do it through PR, and we've got over 1 million journalists worldwide that we can reach out to.
What a community there. And how long have you been doing that for, Mark?
I was involved in a very similar business previously, which unfortunately had to end. There was a falling out between shareholders. So this is now a re-beginning, and this is my company now, so there's no shareholders. And we've been going now about 4 months.
Fantastic.
But previously, the previous company was running for 6 years. So obviously I know what I'm doing. I've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's amazing. Congratulations on now being the only shareholder and for running your own business.
Well, it was a bit scary to go it alone, but I had to in the end because, it was a clear conflict. So I'm glad I did now. I'm much more relaxed about the job because I can get on and do it the way that I know it needs doing.
Perfect. And just taking you back to sort of the beginning a few months back, what would you say perhaps your biggest learning has been since starting up on your own?
Oh, well, I've always been in business myself. I mean, for the last 40 odd years. So I've run a number of businesses. So I pretty much knew what was expected of me. And I was actually the only, although there were shareholders in the previous company, I was the one that managed it all. So, it's nothing new to me. But obviously, with the current climate, with the way things are going globally, it's not the best time in the world to be starting from scratch. But at the same time, I was very lucky that most of our clients stayed with us. They understood what had happened, and they've all been incredibly supportive. So that's been great.
And that's the value of relationships. And just touching on your clients there, who would you say is your best type of customer?
Well, I'm got no interest at all in the big blue chip companies, and not that I'd turn them away if they came to us, but my interest is with SMEs. I'm particularly interested in helping startups. Obviously, you can tell from looking at me that I've been in the game quite a long time, so I've built up a lot of experience, and I love to pass that on to help people out when they're starting from scratch, because it's a daunting thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And shared knowledge and learning helps us all strive for that success that we're looking for.
Absolutely.
In terms of, sorry, I'll count to 3.
Okay.
In terms of, you're clearly passionate about the services that you offer, and you've done them for a very long time. What excites you about what you do?
I love meeting people, finding out what their objectives are, where they're trying to get to. I'll spend more time finding out what they do than I will explaining what we do. It's all about working out what I think would be the best option for them. And you can find it out very, very quickly, when you talk to people. But I feed off other people's passion. So if someone's really keen on their business and they want to get forward, I know that I've got the tools to help them do that. And I can adapt our plan to suit them. So I really enjoyed the cut and thrust of it, and the interaction with people. Fantastic.
And it sounds like your services are built on your customer demand in terms of what it is that they actually need to get them moving forwards, which is great customer focus.
Absolutely, yeah, and I do have a really good relationship with all of our clients. I can honestly say I haven't got one client that I dislike. They're all really nice people, and I don't know how it works, but because we're doing it through content rather than advertising, we seem to get ethical companies that like that way of doing things. So we finish up with some very, very pleasant people that we're dealing with, which is great, you know. And I have formed friendships with most of my clients. So it's not just a case of business. You know, I mean, people phone me up just for a chat from time to time, which is great.
Yeah.
And the other thing is we are worldwide. So I mean, we've got clients all over the world. Obviously that's difficult from a time perspective because of the, you know, the time differences, but I don't sleep a great deal anyway, so that doesn't really concern me that much. But it's great that, you know, I can be chatting to someone in South Africa 1 minute and Canada the next, you know, and really COVID, I'll never say it did us a favor, but it did in a sense that people are very relaxed about Zoom now. You know, you can easily have a business relationship with someone thousands of miles away, apart from the time difference. But other than that, there's nothing to stop you doing business anywhere in the world.
Absolutely. And you did mention the C word there, COVID. And I think, you know, it has changed in the way in which we can do business now. You know, perhaps before we approached it a bit traditionally when it was the face-to-face. In terms of COVID and perhaps you just mentioned there about being able to communicate worldwide, what are some of the things that you took from COVID that are now part of your new business?
Well, funnily enough, we were already, in a sense, ready for it. Luckily, we virtually gone into an office. We virtually agreed it. And then obviously COVID happened, and so we escaped that trap. So we haven't had that. We didn't have that expense. I mean, we can easily run this business from home because it's all online. You know, the platform's online. It's all social media and obviously, you know, emailing out to the journalists. So I could literally run it from anywhere. And all the COVID did, from my point of view, it made everyone else more relaxed about using online meetings because I was already doing it, you know. So to me, it just carried on the same, except that it was the only way of doing business.
Yeah.
I mean, I love a face-to-face meeting, and funnily enough, tomorrow I've got a face-to-face meeting with a new client, and that'll be the first one I've done since COVID started.
Amazing. And yeah, more people needed to adopt the technology in order to carry on throughout that time. So I'm with you there. If you were talking with someone thinking about starting a business, what advice might you give them?
Don't sort of exaggerate your expectations. Don't expect to make money straight away. It's always a long-term thing if it's going to be rewarding. So you've got to be prepared for several years of struggle before you actually start making decent profit. And there's so many people out there that you know, they come up with a great idea, and to them it's absolutely wonderful. And it may be that it's you know, they will get there, but they just expect it to happen too quickly. And it's a long-term thing in any business. You've got to be prepared to put in the time and the effort, particularly at the beginning, in order to get the rewards in the end. You can't be greedy about it. You know, you've got to put back the money that you get in to get to where you need to be.
Yeah, as we say as well, it's just break it down. Don't try and climb that mountain all at once, because it's, you know, yeah, getting to the top takes time, and step by step. And that's so powerful. Thank you for sharing that, Mark. It's a great piece of advice. You're clearly very passionate about talking to people, working with people, helping them, I suppose, digital content and expressing what they do. How do you switch off from that?
I don't. It's as simple as that. I don't. I mean, my business is all consuming. I work till 5:30 in the morning every night, and I'm start again at 9 every morning. So I don't switch off.
Okay. Is there anything outside what you do, though, that you like to do?
There's plenty of things I would like to do, but I don't have time to do them. So, you know, at this stage in the business's life, I have to concentrate fully on what I'm doing, and I am incredibly passionate about it. I love chatting with people, so I do an awful lot of networking now as part of the business, but I get enjoyment from that as well. It's not work to me, you know. I do enjoy it, and I love meeting people wherever they may be, and learning more about what they do, and you can progress through that as well, because I would never copy anyone else's idea, but again, every now and again you'll come across someone and something sparks, and you see how you can adapt their idea to implement it in, you know, to embellish what you're already doing. So I get a great deal of satisfaction from speaking to people and finding out what their vision is.
Yeah, that's shared learning. And finally, Mark, you've clearly had a lot of experience. You've done a lot of things, and now successfully started your business. Looking back on your journey so far, what are the 3 words that you would choose to summarize it?
Oh, dedication, hard work, commitment to the clients. You've got to treat each client as a special case, because everyone is different. So from my point of view, like I say, you know, I'll spend as much time finding out what it is they do and all about their business before I even mention what we can do, because there's a lot of what we do which may not be applicable to them. So I'll only sort of suggest the things that I know, for one thing, they can afford, and the other thing is that some things are just, you know, more than they need. So it's pointless putting out a press release if there isn't a story. There has to be a story behind it to get the journalist's interest. I mean, you'll have a company and they'll, for instance, they're making widgets and they've always made them in blue, but now they can make them in red as well. Well, that's exciting for them, but that's not going to excite the audience. So you've got to find a way of turning that into an interesting story, and that's what we do. I mean, we can write copy for people, so we've got professional copywriters that will do that. Or equally, you know, we can just do the distribution. It's entirely down to the client. But I'd never sort of force anything that I didn't think they needed onto anyone. And wherever possible, I'll adapt my prices to suit people, to make sure they, you know, it's affordable for them.
Fantastic. And as I say, customer focused and customer driven. Mark, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your journey, your knowledge and your experience. It's been really insightful, and thank you for that. To your future success.
Right. Thanks very much.